Hey, Tyler Wilson here, and today I'm going to show you a simple way to get a ton of leads without the need to cold call. And I just wanted to give you a small sample of what's possible and to get you thinking out of the box. If this technique isn't exactly your cup of tea, don't worry. I've got a ton of others that work wonders in the Cold Call Crusher course, so check that out. If this scenario doesn't fit your situation perfectly, then just look deeper at the fundamentals of how this technique works and then adapt them accordingly. And again, just like I've said a million times over, these techniques will work in any industry, whether you're selling direct to consumers or to businesses. And no matter what you say, I've heard it a million times, your business is not different. So stop making excuses and go out there and make some sales. Okay, now that that's out of the way, let's get started. Well, let's imagine for simplicity's sake that we sell insurance. Not the most exciting, but most people know about insurance, so I'll use that as an example. And let's say we sell insurance that doctors in particular enjoy, so we want to target doctors. So instead of cold calling a list of doctors on the phone or going into their offices to bug them and beg for an appointment like most salespeople do, let's try something else. So to start, we find a couple buildings where a lot of doctors are located. These can easily be found by the Yellow Pages or on the internet. They're really easy to find, and I'm sure you already know of them. Now we want a lot of doctors in the same place, so we save lots of time. We want to have a lot of leverage. Keep in mind that we always want to save time so we can make as many sales as possible with the least amount of work. Okay, then we go to these offices, and instead of asking to speak with the doctor, we just ask for their business card. Most of the time, you don't even have to ask for it. It's just on the counter. Okay, so we do this until we have a fair amount of business cards. And so let's be conservative here, and let's say we visit four buildings with about 15 doctors in each building for a total of 60 separate business cards. And let's say we were kind of lazy and we walked slow, so it took us about 2 hours. So we have about 2 hours of work so far. After we have the business cards, we notice that almost all of them have an email address. But for cards without an email address, there are a lot of other things we can do, and this technique still works great. But for this example, let's just assume that they all have email addresses, just to keep it simple. Okay, so now we have 60 email addresses of doctors that we want to sell our insurance products to. The next step is to teach these doctors something useful, so they will see us as an expert advisor in our field, which is very important. And then after we show them that we are an expert in our field, whatever we're selling, then we can get them motivated to call us. You're probably wondering how on earth we're going to do that, but it's actually quite simple. One way we can do it, it's not the only way, but just one particular method, is by giving the doctors a free and valuable report. Most companies have these kinds of reports available to you, or if yours doesn't, just write a short one-page report yourself. It literally takes less than an hour, or probably less than half hour, if you know your product and industry well, which you should if you're going to sell it. For this example, I would write a report titled something like, "The top 3 things every doctor should know about their insurance, but probably doesn't." Then I would include 3 things that if the doctor knew, he would probably choose our insurance company over others. For example, how some types of insurance companies sneak in hidden fees and how to avoid them. We want to give the doctors good but somewhat general information. We don't want to come off like we're pushing our own insurance. We don't want to sell anything yet. So keep it short and interesting and give some good information. Just remember that we are not selling anything right now. If we try to sell something right now, we will ruin this technique, and we probably won't make many sales. At the end of our report, we can give a very short bio or tagline about ourselves, like, "To find out more about the ins and outs of insurance and how to avoid the common mistakes, please contact John Baker for a free consultation today at," and then leave your phone number. So after you have your short report written, just email it to the doctors. Your email will say something like, Hello, Dr. Smith. I was in your office today and I thought the short report would be especially helpful to you in your field. I've attached it to this email so that you can read it. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks, John Baker, and then your phone number. Fairly simple and extremely easy to do. So that probably took us 3 to 4 hours total time from getting the business cards to sending out the email with our free report. And if we want to contact more doctors, we already have our report written and we can do it quicker the next time, which is nice. So after you send your email, you wait. The next couple of days, you should have people calling you to get more information, which are great leads. And if you're not flooded with calls, you can even follow up by calling the numbers from the cards you have and say something like, "Hello, Dr. Smith. This is John Baker, and I sent you a report on Tuesday. Did you happen to get a chance to read it?" Or if you get a gatekeeper, just tell them something like, "You sent some personal information to the doctor the other day and you need to make sure he got it," which is absolutely true. So even if you don't get a ton of calls, just from following up, you should get a lot of great leads and of course some sales, which is what we're after. And remember that it's not a cold call because they already had contact with you through the email and report, and they know exactly what you're all about. Once you do this, you can change your report and test to see what works best. And to be honest with you, I never really follow up with anybody because I typically get more phone calls than needed. So it's not really a big deal. You can follow up if you want to, but hopefully you won't need to. So there you go, less than 4 hours of actual work and you'll get some great appointments out of it and hopefully a lot of sales. I know people who, cold call for days without a single sale, and you'll probably get a couple sales just from 4 hours of work. Another great thing is that these leads are absolutely great. They're awesome leads. The prospect typically calls you and you are seen as an expert in your field. This makes it extremely easy to close much more often, which means even more sales for less work, which is always nice. So there you have it. That's one technique that brings in lots of leads and sales without cold calling. Now, if you want all the facts and all the techniques that I use to generate leads, you can check out the Cold Call Crusher course. In the course, I walk you step by step and give you every detail, and includes a manual of over 100 pages packed with these kind of techniques. And you even get 8 videos that show you exactly how I do it. And also remember, you have 120 days to review the course, and if it doesn't produce huge results for you, you can return it for a full refund, which is a pretty sweet deal. So to get the Cold Call Crusher course and start making sales, all you gotta do is go to coldcallcrusher.com. Thanks.